It is 4:55 as we are recording this video. Michigan is up 21-7 in the middle of the second quarter. Ohio State is already 11-0 after a 42-9 win over Rutgers. That's the last time I'm saying the word Rutgers in this entire. That's not true. I'll probably close. I'll close with it. So that's one. I have one more left because I'm not here to talk about Rutgers. I'm Steven. That's Stefan, and that's Andrew. Andrew, I want to start with you. Is Ohio State ready to play Michigan?
I think so. I wrote about this post-game, and this is the first point. I'm assuming we're going to have many, many points to talk about. So the first one I want to touch on is Ohio State is what it is. The Buckeyes are what they are.
We've been talking about this team like they're like a dying animal.
No, and it's just I think there has been so much talk about growth mindset. And we've got to eliminate mistakes, and we've got to improve each week. And I'm not saying you can't do that, but one of the things that I was talking about in like my outrageous prediction this week was Zion Grady 2 sacks, because I was like, this is probably the last time that you're going to see like Zion Grady like definitely get reps. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen right now. Like, this bench is going to shorten up a little bit, and that's because we are now in the end game. Like, I know it's not officially the postseason. It's essentially the postseason for Ohio State. Like, this is what you have been building for. Ryan Day talked about that in his post-game press conference. Like, this is the week that you build towards, and yeah, it's in the back of your mind. He didn't go full bore yet into, hey, it's Michigan week, forget Rutgers, forget all this stuff. Like, but he was right there. So I look at this, and I was watching today, and I thought, you know, there's so much about this team that I think has felt nitpicky. They've played one-score game in 11 games, and it was the first game of the year on August 30th when it was really hot out on this field, and now it's really cold out on this field. And it was one of those games where you think to yourself, if Ohio State showed up and they ran that same game plan again, I don't think they win that game like 35-10, but like they probably win that game by 10 plus. And I think we are now at a point where the right guard conversation, which we have talked about for 6 weeks plus, it is what it is. Tegra Shabola is probably going to start against Michigan, and you're probably going to see a rotation of him or Van Sickle, of Shabola and Van Sickle, or Shabola and Josh Padilla. It is what it is. The running back rotation, it is what it is. You're probably going to see a lot of different guys. Bo Jackson is probably going to start to take that step forward now that you are kind of in the end game as I'm talking about it. You are probably at the point of Bo Jackson 15 carries a game, but you're going to see a handful of different guys. You're going to see Lorenzo Styles. I know he left the game with an injury today, but if he's healthy for Michigan, you're going to see him play in the slot. Like when there was an injury to him today, they didn't say we got to change everything. We're going to put Jermaine in the slot and out goes Devin Sanchez and blah. No, they just sent out Bryce West. Like, this team is what it is. And I don't mean that to say, like you were saying, like a dying animal. Like, I don't mean that as a negative. They are the best team in college football. But I think people kind of just have to start to kind of, I guess, come to grips with that. Like, felt like there was a lot of angst about building towards Michigan. And now it's, you got to rely on your strengths, which is you have probably the best defense in college football. When they're healthy, you have the best receiver tandem in college football. You have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, or Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, I should say, like, or a guy that can win the Heisman. Like, you've got the best of a lot of different things. And yeah, those flaws still exist. But I kind of wrote today, like, I don't know how much that really matters. Could a team take advantage of it? Absolutely. Could Georgia or Indiana or any of the teams that they could play in the playoff, could they take advantage of an offensive line for Ohio State? They're on the right side, they're a little weaker, but in the slot, maybe, I don't know. Other teams have weaknesses too. And I think I look at this team right now and I see the number one team in the country that is better than everybody else they've played, to the point where they have been able to treat things like a controlled scrimmage. So that's 4 minutes. I look at this team and I think they're ready. It is what it is. There's going to be some weaknesses, and people are just going to have to live with them. There's going to be some angst of just, I don't know what they're doing. Why do they still do this? Well, it is what it is. The kicker probably can't make a 50-plus yard field goal. So what? You're going to have to live with it at this point. There is not let's try it out and see if he can get better for the end. This is the end of the year. This is what you do all of this stuff for. We are here now.
Stefan. What?
No, you just slowly turn.
Oh, it was just dramatic effect, man. Stefano, this team ready to play Michigan?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Andrew said there. I think they are. Okay, I want to make very clear that
Y'all are doing a lot of listen, bear with me. Just say what you guys got to say.
No,
you guys are not wrong. You guys are experts.
There's just, I'm going to say one thing that I don't want to be interpreted as something else. What I'm about to say is not Michigan or Ohio State, the winner of the game, has won the rushing battle the last 700 times. That's not what I'm going to say, because I know you're sick of saying that. I know the lunatic fringe is sick of hearing that.
Are you guys scared of the fringe? Is that what's happening right now?
I embrace the fringe, and fringe, I'm talking to you. This is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying Ohio State has to run up the middle 30 times to beat Michigan. Okay. What I'm saying is this Ohio State run game is actually really good. You talked about, it's ironic because you were just talking about like they are what they are. What they are is a team that's actually really improved in the running game since probably like the Illinois game, I guess, was the last time where we really were like, ooh, that didn't look good. It's an area that they are at least competent in and improved on. And I'm not saying that's what they need to lean on, but when Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate play, you have a running game that can complement it, that can at least keep defenses a bit more honest than we saw before. And when those two guys don't play, and maybe you do need to lean on it a bit more, it can be really good. I thought Bo Jackson looked sharp today. I thought Isaiah West looked sharp today. I thought James Peoples, he had that 50-yard run in the fourth. I think he had 3 carries for 50 yards for James Peoples at the end there.
Yeah.
3
for 55.
And a touchdown.
Bo Jackson got it 19 times. I asked somebody about that a couple weeks ago. It's coming. 20 carries game.
But I think these running backs are doing well. I thought that there was one clip I tweeted. I think it was the first touchdown Ohio State scored, the Bo Jackson one, where like watch the play and then watch it over and pick like, okay, this time I'm going to watch Max Clare. This time I'm going to watch Bennett Christian. This time I'm going to watch Tegris Shabola. This time I'm going to watch Luke Montgomery. This time I'm going to watch Phillip Daniels. And the blocking was just pristine. I think they're blocking better in the run game. I think they're running it better, right? With Bo Jackson, Isaiah West, James Peoples, all those guys are young, right? They're Ryan Day's talked about it all the time. Like they're getting better as the year goes on. So again, I'm not saying Ohio State has to win a national championship running the ball 35 times. And I'm not saying they have to go into a Michigan game saying we better win that rushing battle. But I'm saying this run game is no longer a problem. And that's a promising sign going into I'm not going to say going into the Michigan game because that gets interpreted as like you got to run the ball up the middle. Going into matchup games, you have to be a bit more balanced, right? At least I think Steven, I think you say this, like at least the idea of being balanced, right? Like you can lean on your passing game and say we're going to win because of Jeremiah Smith, we're going to win because of Cardinal Tate if those guys are healthy. But the defense has to at least think that there's a chance you might run, right? There's a chance that you might pop a 10-yard run here, and I think that's where they are right now. I think the idea of being balanced is something defenses have to respect, right? Even though I think Ohio State is aware of what their strengths are. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe next week Ryan Day pulls out the Michigan game plan from like a dusty cabinet that he hasn't opened since late November last year. I think if you're listening to this, you probably really hope he doesn't do that. I don't think he's going to do that, but I'm not going to predict anything yet. You can get the game predictions later on this week. But that is an area that Ohio State has now, it's become a strength, I think, for them. And I think it's a good thing to have that complement what this passing offense is if those two guys are out there. And I think do we need to even add that caveat? Like when we talk about Ohio State competing for a national title, we're talking about them as strength with Jeremiah and Cardinal out there. If those two guys don't play, it's a completely different conversation.
They're not winning a national title if they don't play. That's not a thing. It's how much time I got?
Oh, you got time. We got time.
Yeah, you got like 5 minutes.
Oh, no,
okay.
We got longer than that. You good.
No, go ahead. Get your thought out because then I'm going to,
I was going to say, I want to be brief here because I already went a long time and I want you to be able to go.
I'm holding the bike. So
one of the things that you look at, like I look at college basketball and you always see like you have a run and gun team that shoots a lot of threes. And then here comes Princeton and they're going to slow the ball down and they run a lot of backdoor cuts and they just try to slow the game down. And okay, well, that's a problem sometimes for tournament teams in college basketball. Ohio State, if you want to run and gun, like if you play a team that's run and gun, and I know Michigan is up next, but like if you play a team that wants to run and gun, they can play that way. If you want to play a team like Michigan who says, we need to win this game 17-10, we need to win this game like that, I think Ohio State can play that way. I think they have the best defense in college football, and I think the running game has progressed to a level to feel comfortable in that, and I think your quarterback is accurate enough to where you are not worried about Kyle McCord, Will Howard interception in their own end. So I think however you want to play, and Joe Burrow talked about this a lot, like sometimes as a quarterback you have to figure out what kind of game is it going to be. Do I need to push the envelope because we got to score 38 points, or do I need to play a little bit safer because we need to score 20? And I think Ohio State can win a game 14-10 against somebody. They just beat Texas 14-7 by playing a little slower. I think if Ohio State somehow, someway gets in a track meet against Michigan, they could win 45-42. I also think they could win 14-10.
If this defense allows 42 points against Michigan, I will have some questions. I will have some questions about how many points Indiana will score then.
If they score 42 points, then Michigan has been just like doxing us for 11 straight weeks.
Bryce Underwood is suddenly in the Heisman conversation again.
It's been 11 weeks of trolling. Which let me tell you what.
Which, like, shout out to that. If that's the goal, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I think this team's been trolling us for 11 weeks.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hate everything about what you guys just said.
Thank you.
It's not wrong. I just hate it. And I'm going to tell you why I hate it. We have been having shouting matches on the podcast. Go listen to Podcast Talk and get the text, 614-350-3315, about running the ball, throwing the ball, me putting it on a T-shirt to throw the ball, throw it, forget the run game, throw it, and then when you get tired of throwing it, throw it a little bit more. And I don't think I've always done a great job of presenting why I'm saying that. Because I think what happens is it comes off as me saying, I want this to turn into Mike Leach, and they just air it out. That is not essentially what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this list of things. One, do what you're good at. More importantly, you're right. They can run the ball now. More importantly, the reason why I hate what you guys are talking about isn't because like it's not true. It is very true. But when you say, what is this game going to look like? How do you want us to beat you? Who's choosing that? Who's dictating that? Are they asking the question, or are they asking someone else to answer it for them?
Ideally, you would want it to be Ohio State.
Right. The problem with the Michigan game is that
I agree with this.
They are not dictating how the game is played. They beat Texas 14-7, and it wasn't like the first time they beat Texas 28-14. They probably should have won by more points, but penalties, they just didn't play clean. I didn't think they didn't play clean against Texas on August 31st, right? I thought they played a good football game. They decided this is how we're going to play the football game. We're going to try our best to establish the run. We're going to let our defense control the line of scrimmage. And then when the opportunity comes to take a shot, Julian, you're going to take a shot. Touchdown, Carnell Tate. The other touchdown was a 1-yard run. On fourth down. Like, they controlled the football game, and they won it 14-7. They played Penn State. They controlled the football game, and they scored 38 points. Against Minnesota, they controlled the football game, 42-3. Even the Washington game, as much as we hated the way they were playing in the first half, they dictated how the game was going to go, and they won 24-6. Could they have won that game 42-6? Probably. Could they have won that game 10-6? Probably. It's up to them and how they decide to win a football game. This is the most complete Ohio State football team they have had. They can throw it. They can run it. They can stop the run. They can cover. Special teams has this little weird moment, but other than that, it's like, I don't know. This is the most complete football team they have had. So when you say, how do you want to play this game, are they asking the question, or are they telling their opponent how they're going to play this football game?
Yeah.
And sometimes that is going to be running the ball 35 times and only throwing it 19 times. Sometimes that is going to be the Wisconsin game where they threw it 42 times and ran it like 12. But throwing the ball isn't about just coming out and just launching it down the field. It's about having diverse passing attack and using that to open up your run game. But more importantly, it's about a mentality of, we're not asking you how we're going to play football today. We're telling you, Michigan, how we're going to play football today. We're telling you, Indiana, how we're going to play football. We're telling you, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, whoever else they might meet down the line, how we are going to play football today. And there have been too many times heading into this Michigan game where I feel like they're asking the question, Michigan's answering it, and then they're trying to figure out whether they can do it or not.
Or they know that Michigan wants to play, let's take out a blunt object and hit each other with it for 60 minutes, and they're like, okay, we'll try that.
Well, right, we'll try it. No, not we'll.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you over to this corner and we're gonna rock out.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna, it's gonna be my constant thing in everything we do for the next week of, can Ohio State dictate how the Michigan game goes? Because if not, they are going to lose the football game. I don't care how we want to spin all the X's and O's and everything out. If they come out and don't dictate play, then they're opening the door for Sharon Moore to get another win he doesn't have any business getting. But if they come out in Ann Arbor next Saturday and they go, this is how we're playing, I don't care what it looks like, but they dictate how this goes for 60 minutes, that solves your Michigan problem. 614-350-3315, 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that.
It's like 15 minutes.
Good.
I mean, look, man, some of us are pros,
Playing
man.
our best ball.
Some of us are pros.
Playing our best ball.
We dictated how long this video was gonna go.
Get the text 614-350-3315, 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that, and go listen to Buckeye Talk. We're not gonna go 15 minutes there. We're gonna go a lot longer there because we're gonna be dictating that too. Stefan, Andrew, Steven, if Ohio State handles business, this is the last time we will be in Ohio Stadium for a football game until April. If they don't handle its business, then we might be back in here in late December.
Very cold.
I'd rather not because it was cold last year. So take care of business. Talk to you guys later.